Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Woodstock, Georgia, it's time for Cherokee Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hello, it is a happy Fearless Formula Friday on Cherokee Radio X, where we talk about the ups and downs of the business world and offer words of wisdom for business success. I'm your host, Sharon Klein, and our guest in the studio today is a master plumber with over 15 years experience, which I love. He's from Kansas City originally, but here in Woodstock now. He is owner of Redtail Plumbing. Please welcome to the show, Justin Allen. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
It's great to be here today. I absolutely love this. So.
Yay, I'm so happy. It's always nice to have a happy guest here on the show. All right, so you're from Kansas City, but is that, please forgive me because I'm not a sports fan like I pretend to be, Redtail Plumbing, where does the name come from?
Redtail. Okay,
Does it have to do with Kansas City?
No.
Oh,
no,
hooray.
the only thing is the colors. So I'm a big Chiefs fan, and red and white are part of the Chiefs colors. So I did decide to go with that besides the fact of a red-tail hawk. So why did I choose Redtail?
Yes.
So I wanted to be kind of a classy style logo plumber, so not like, these gimmicky names. So like I wanted to be classy and and so being in Atlanta, there's a lot of red-tail hawks. The Atlanta Hawks is a red-tail. And then there's the old Southern air fighter group was called the Redtails. So
what? You really thought this out?
I did. I wanted to be part of the community, but kind of like camouflage myself in it and just.
What? That is so smart. Yeah. It's funny because if you were thinking about a plumber, it's always like I was saying, a wrench or something. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. It's nice to have something that's sort of like completely different.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling of being kind of classy and having a little homage to your hometown.
Sure. Yeah, totally. And as you see, my logo does have a hawk carrying a pipe wrench.
This close.
So the symbol.
Oh, got you. A little bit in there.
It is, right?
What did you do before you were a plumber?
Okay, so I went to college for about a year. I failed out, and
I love how honest you are.
I decided, all right, I got to get a real job. My dad was a plumber back in the day, so I saw a truck that said now hiring, so I decided to become an apprentice in Kansas City before I moved here. And then I got to Atlanta when I was 24 and couldn't find a job immediately as an apprentice, so I worked in a bar for about 7 years.
Wow.
Before I got back onto plumbing and got my journeyman license and started doing it that way and became a master later. So. All
right. So will you explain to me what a master plumber is as opposed to like a regular
plumber? So you've got, So definitely you go from an apprentice and then after here in Georgia, it's 3 years. And then after that, you can test to be a journeyman. A journeyman means I can come into your house legally by Georgia and do plumbing. And then 2 years of a journeyman, you test to be a master. And a master means you can own your own business. Basically, a master plumber means you can take money. So as a journeyman, I have to have a master above me saying I can take money as a business.
Got you.
And as an unrestricted master, that means that basically the gist is you cannot outrank me as a plumber. Although you might, there's a lot of people who know more. But as the plumbing goes, that's the highest level here in Georgia is unrestricted master plumber.
Well, there are a lot of terms I've not heard before.
Yeah, right? It gets pretty boring, but I'm legit is basically what that means.
Are you a restricted plumber then?
Yeah, right?
Still?
There can be, yes.
Really?
Restricted, you can't do hospitals and things like that. You can't do big time.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So
that there's a lot I don't know, so that's why you're here. I'm going to kind of understand a little bit more about this industry and kind of what it's like for you to be in it. All right, so here you were being you were a bartender. Was it a bartender? Did you say?
Yeah, serving and bartending.
Serving and bartending. So how did you like that? What was it about it where you were like, that's it, I'm out?
Oh, man, to get out of it and get back into plumbing? Oh, wow. So you're into my story. Okay, so I started going down that path of bartending, and it becomes a little family of a restaurant there.
Yeah.
And then I just got too into it. I let some things get a little overwhelming me, and then so I decided, all right, I got to clean myself up. I got to get out of this. And so I put my foot down. I'm like, look, I'm getting back into a trade that I wanted to do, and I really went for it. And then I worked for a company here locally. Started doing excavation plumbing, which is all outside, and then just worked my way up to another bigger company, and then did my own thing. But yeah, I love the restaurant world. I think it's fun. It's great money, and it's hard to get out of. just because the money's good and the family feeling is so there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I had to go. It was kind of ruining my life, and I decided, like, look, I got to get out of this. I got to find a wife and find some kids and stuff like that.
Not at the restaurant.
That's right.
Well, it's kind of a cool take on what you're saying is that and I think it's everybody's journey where sometimes you're on a path that you think feels right to yourself and then it really just doesn't. And, some people don't get out.
Yeah.
So I really admire that you had sort of the tenacity with yourself. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do what it takes.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
So did you tell your dad, guess what I'm doing?
Okay. So my dad passed when I was 15.
Oh no, this is a terrible question.
It's all right.
Oh my God.
It's part of the deal.
Sorry. Oh my God.
No, it's good. No, it's good. So that's why he couldn't train me, but it was in my story. I was like, okay, I guess I'll start with plumbing. My dad did it. Why not? I'll try it.
All right. So was it a huge change for your life? Did you feel like it was a huge change and sort of had to be more disciplined and sort of always be eye on the ball, straight ahead?
What you mean when I went from the restaurant to yes, I did. Yes, it took, like I started at the bottom of this plumbing company, and so I would work, doing excavation. You sometimes get stuck on something. I'd be out there for 26 straight hours on like a digging job. At that point, you're like, I am done. But that was the bottom of the totem pole, and I worked up to lead excavation and stuff like that. But the hardest personality switch, I guess, would be I was still at the restaurant. I could still be a kid, hey, stay up all night and whatever, sleep in. This meant, day to day, get up, do your job, no more, having fun and you can still have fun, but within parameters.
Right.
So it was a big switch, especially because I waited so long to stop being a kid, I would say, from my own life.
Well, but I understand that. So my son is going to school now. He's going to Chat Tech because he wants to own his own, mechanic.
Sure.
Company business at some point. And so, but this past year, he's slept a lot. It's after high school in between college, he took a year off. And it's interesting to see him kind of go through a change of having to have that discipline, whereas before it was just kind of fun. He was just working a little bit and was with a girlfriend and all that. And anyway, it's just but it's interesting to see what that discipline has done for him, though. Like I see a change in him, and I imagine you must have felt it for yourself.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. There was a big change, and look, I credit, so we're going to step into this door of my life.
Let's do it.
So I credit a lot of this to God, all right? So I'm a follower of Jesus. So I really went and I opened that door of look, I'm getting back into this, and I'm going to give credit to God, and I'm just going to go for it. And it really, I'll tell you what, for me, it paid off because I got back into my church hardcore, and my wife came shortly after.
Oh my
and then
goodness.
Kids.
I love that story.
It's really a glorious story from my life that all right, dude, I'm taking the turn and I'm doing this. And I just got rewarded, and then more money came just, from, I guess, kind of just serving or whatnot. But then my life has been such a whirlwind since then of great, just, it's been good. That move from restaurant, although there was a lot of people that I made good friends with. I'm not saying anything like that, but that turn into this, this plumbing career, it's been nothing but greatness. Step. So
it's interesting. I think that the effect of living a life that doesn't feel authentic to you, what that does to all areas of your life, and how hard it is to kind of put yourself in an alignment with what you think you want your life to look like. It's huge and difficult and can be very daunting. And I imagine, too, if you had friends that are like, hey, when are you coming back? Or when are you coming by? Or all of that. But it's such a testament to your being willing to commit and kind of see where it takes you. Because you were doing something for yourself, right?
Yeah.
That you really wanted to do for your life.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. No, I totally agree. And when you throw that whatever it is out there, then you just start going for it. Yeah, it is. It's, I don't know. It's an amazing thing. So.
It is amazing. It's kind of fun actually to talk to someone who's kind of decided that their life really needs to go through something different, because there are people listening right now who potentially aren't happy with the way that their lives are. So I love that you can kind of give them sort of like a happy story of what it's like. And it's not all happy, I'm sure, but still it shows that you've got almost like a support, but it's an unseen support. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just a
totally
support out
that.
there.
Yeah.
So nice. And your life kind of unfolds as it is.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not going for it on my own. Yeah, that's right. It was support. No, I totally agree. Yep, that's exactly what happened.
All right, so you're working with this other company.
Yep.
You become a journeyman.
Yep, that's right.
Got it.
So,
and then, and then after that, you're a master
That's right.
plumber. Okay, and then you started your business.
Yeah. So so I worked at when I was telling you I was working long hours as an excavation lead or whatnot. Then I got my journeyman, and I was like, just the progression of plumbing here in Atlanta is sometimes you move off to a company that pays more and like gives you more for your knowledge. So I did that, and then within that company, I was there 7 years until I decided to take my master license test. Did that, and then I sat with that master license for 2 years, just trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. And then, I have 3 kids, so like COVID happened, right?
Oh, wow.
So COVID, the president, the government's, throwing money at me with all my kids to say, hey, go spend this money. So we're like, all right, let's spend it. Let's do it on a company. So
a happy thing about COVID.
Right? Yeah, right.
A positive.
That's right. Yeah, they did that.
Yeah.
So we decided, to put our money into like starting a company, and that's how we did it. And I think a lot of people kind of spawned out of COVID, entrepreneurs. And another great step of like, what a move. And we are so happy we did it.
So you didn't really have to go through, here's what my company's like. Now COVID hits and now I have to change everything or potentially lose my company.
Yeah.
You did it all during.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So we did that. And I just went blank on that. Oh, man.
That's okay. My brain is blank 9 times out of 10.
That's right.
I have like a list in front of me of questions in
Sure.
case my
Go
brain
ahead.
is like. All right. So what have you found is the most challenging to set up your business? Because imagine someone out there right now who's like, I'd really love to do this, but I don't know. What are some of the things that you wish you could tell yourself in the beginning that would have been helpful to you that you know now?
Let me see if I can come up with that. 3 things popped in my head. So one was a really good buddy of mine who's good financially and stuff. He told me, he's like, whatever you do now for, marketing, advertising, 6 months from now, you'll see if it worked or not. So he's like, plant it and see. And so that actually did pay off, because I started off with a billboard on Bell's Ferry out here in Georgia, and wherever we are, Woodstock or something like that. So
you put a billboard on?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's good.
It went down after about 3 months, because I was because we were like, all right, let's start putting money into that, and I started networking. Okay. So I built this company's been built off of networking alone. So, and
that is amazing. Think about that.
Yeah,
it
really has. So I mean, the people out there that would listen to that, like, there's networking clubs around, and that is solely what I did. And there was another guy at a club, and he said, he was like, I've met a lot of people around here, but he's like, you're the only one that's a pure trade, and all you do is network to get your business. He's like, I've never seen that before. Some trades will come in and throw their name around, to kind of get sparked up some whatever.
But and they don't
customers.
Stay either.
They don't.
Right?
Yeah,
they
that's
come
right.
And go.
Yeah, but he's like, you invested in it, and it's paid off, and it truly has. That's been the best thing that I ever did, was network, because I built it on relationship, didn't I? Not on the fact of my logo or my
right, or you heard you on the radio or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
totally.
But that's huge, right?
Yeah.
Because really, I always talk about this business being a relationship. It's building relationships, and it's kind of everybody wins. I get my sink to stop
That's
having
right.
trouble.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And you get paid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You feel good about yourself.
Totally right. And I like when I go to like somebody's house, like your house or somebody's house, I'm less interested. I mean, I want to fix their plumbing, and I want to fix why I'm there. I feel like I'm like gifted as a plumber, and I'd rather just talk to you about what's going on, and instead of like, hey, this is how plumbing works, and this is what's happened, and this is how much it's going to cost. I'll do that, but I'll intermix it and more about like, hey, you're a person on this world, and you're important, like I'm important. So that's how I like to deal with people. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's huge, because I feel like now you've got someone that will come back to you, because you're not just interested in their money.
Sure.
Or fixing, like you said, the problem. You really want to know what's their journey like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I like to hear it. Yeah, totally. That's exactly what I like to do. Yeah.
So how long did it take you before you put your billboard up that you started to get some calls? Was it like immediate?
No.
I'm kind of wondering, if I were to put a billboard of my voiceover work up there, not that I think that would really work, because people are driving. They're not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, how long would it take before someone would be like, hey, I saw your billboard?
I don't know how many people. I don't think I ever got one person to say. I know people said they saw it, but I don't know anybody that said, hey, I'm calling you because I saw your billboard or whatever. It more was the word of mouth was more of what happened.
But that's interesting to note. Because if someone didn't want to spend the money, it doesn't have to be the money like that. They could come in and go to what are some of the best networking meetings that you've been to?
So I started with YPOW, which is the one here in Woodstock. Well, I think me and you met there, didn't we?
That's right.
Okay.
Young Professionals of Woodstock.
That's right. So we met there, and then so I went to Woodstock Business Club, which would have been my second one. So those were my dedicated ones. Then Woodstock started getting bigger. And then I went to Canton as it was smaller, Canton Business Club. And then Ball Ground. So those are the ones. And I'm still going to all those.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a huge commitment.
It is. Yeah, that's right. I'm basically, if you do that, you're saying I'm going to give up making money in these hours 3 or 4 times a week to put my, roots in the ground here. And that's, I did it and it really works. So,
but what's kind of cool is you can go to each of those communities and find people that you know.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Yes, totally. Yeah.
No town feels like a stranger town.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's right. And people throw your name and I'm like, okay, that's great. And somebody from Jasper is like, hey, I've heard about you and I'd like you to come out and look at my water line. I'm like, I would love to. So,
yes, I will.
Yeah, right. Totally.
That's the best, though.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know how many times I've had someone come and do something for me where I really didn't love their work, or you're just like happy that they were able to fix it because you really just needed it in a pinch or whatever.
Sure.
But not really feeling like a sense of security or a sense of I feel like I'm going to have them come back. Like, I like the feeling of when you have a relationship with someone, you kind of know that they're going to be there for you if you really need them. Like that's what they're building their business on.
Yes, exactly.
It's just huge, though. Not everybody has that mindset, I guess.
I thought, do you remember that show, the Andy Griffith show?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I used to watch it like when I'd be homesick because there was always a rerun. But I remember there's the barber and the mail guy and all these people were so knitted into that small little town. And that's what when I came to Woodstock, that was my mindset here. Like, I don't want to blow up and make all the money in the world. I want to be a kind of a fixture here in Woodstock that if I had left one day, they'd be like, what in the world happened to that company? That was such a good dude in this community.
Yeah, you'd be missed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I try. Yeah, that's right. And that's what my goal is and still.
So do you have all right, wait, no, I have my list of questions right here. Who are your mentors? Do you have mentors as you're going along?
Yes. So the guy, let's see here. The last company I worked for, is it okay to say names or
Why
not?
not?
Okay, cool.
Is it okay with you?
He's he's a really good dude. And so I worked for Jay Cunningham. He owns a big plumbing company here in the town. And just the way he ran his company was so, it was respectful in a way to people and treating employees right and the customers right. And he always wanted to integrate and be part of the community, whichever way he could help. And so, whenever I decided to leave, he was very adhering to me doing that, and he gave me tips and pointers and stuff. But I just think back of the way that when I worked for him for 7 years, how he did it. So he's definitely a mentor, even though I don't call him to do anything. Just the thought of what I learned from his company is very very valuable to me. Anybody else? Just regular plumbers that I've met. I think a lot of plumbers, they think they know everything. If you ever met a plumber, a lot of plumbers think they know everything about plumbing. And I'm a guy who's like, look, I don't know everything, but I've been doing it for a long time, so I've seen a lot, and I know who to call if I don't know what I'm doing. So I feel like I could call many, many plumbers that are very grounded in what they do. So
you're still a relatively new company. So have you had many setbacks or ups and downs or things that are sort of been challenging for you that you think that someone else that might have some words of wisdom for as well? So in other words, like you were talking about how you didn't need to do a whole lot of marketing for yourself, but like building relationships. So are there some other things that you feel like have been the most helpful to you that you would think would be great for someone? So
sure.
What would you say?
Okay, so this is one of those hidden gems that I think you should know before you open a company, because it really helped me, is budgeting. So we budget, and we learned budgeting, me and my wife, probably about, probably 6 or 7 years ago, but so hardcore budgeting that we knew where everything was going. So when I started the company, every dollar I would spend, I would allot it around, so I knew how much money we had running it every exact second to know. And I think just by that, taking budgeting into other forms of rental things or anything, you can put it in a slot, and I think that really helps you and keeps everything concise. You know where your company's at, you know where your receipts are, all these things to keep legit. And I've said it to other younger people, and they try to do. I'm like, make sure you understand how to budget, because it'll help you in your business in a big way. So
that's huge. I don't really do a great job with budgeting.
A lot of people don't.
Do you use a program in particular?
Yes, I use an app called YNAB. You need a budget. It's very basic, but it links to your bank account, so it lets you divvy it up as you want to. And it's very easy after that. So.
Wow, that's kind of amazing. I know several different ones. I used to have an Excel spreadsheet that if I just made the wrong one wrong digit, the whole thing would be off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's really specific, and there are people who have like seriously like degrees or something like that.
Yeah, totally right. I have no idea how to excel.
Well, if you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Justin Allen, owner of Redtail Plumbing here in Woodstock. So, all right, I know this is a relatively new company, right? But where would you like to see it go?
Oh man, I'm still trying to figure that one out. At a year and a half, I'm like, all right, so I could take on, an employee or 2 employees, but how big do I want to? Do I want to stay Andy Griffith Plumber, or do I want
Well, that's so true. Let's talk about that, because seriously, if you're thinking about expanding like that, you would lose that one.
That's right. However,
if the right person came along who had the right energy.
That's right. Yeah, come see me. If you're out there.
No promises. No, but you're right. So do you think that if you hired another person that you'd be able to grow and grow and grow?
I do. Yeah, I do. Not everybody, everybody's got their own personality and their own niches. And there's so many different plumbers I've met that they'd be perfect for, some people like to just go out and work hard and make money. Some people like to be on the creative side and all right, I'd like to run this side of the show or this type of thing. And all those would be on board for me. I kind of hold back because I've never wanted the aspect of a lot of money to dictate which way I'm going to go. So I'm filtering myself to be like, look, I'm going to make sure I'm making the right decision before I just blow open a floodgate to do something. So.
Well, let's talk about that side, because I imagine if you were to go into someone's house and you see that it's just a very small something to fix, but how would anyone know how much this is really to fix?
Yeah, right.
So is that a challenge? Not for everyone, but maybe in the industry, do you see that generally speaking, you have to really be careful about the line that you're crossing as far as your own ethics or, like you said, almost not wanting to serve 2 different kind of masters here, right?
That's right. Yeah. So you mean if I walk in and it's an easy fix and I'm like, okay, so I have to be really basic, and I had to build a guideline in the beginning because I could easily walk into somebody's house and be like, all right, you turn this wrench to do this thing and then you're going to be fine. And I used to do that a lot more, and then to a point of gas and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, I've got to remember that I am a master plumber. I am a tradesman. I've done it for so many years that I have to charge a minimum. So if I'm going to show up at your house, and a lot of times I don't do a dispatch fee unless you're farther away or whatever, or if you're on my way home, I'm fine with it. I'll check it out. I'll just run in there and see what guy, give you an estimate or whatever. But let's see, where was I going with that?
We're talking about charging people. Yeah.
So I keep a minimum, and oftentimes if you're on the phone with me and you're like, hey, this is where I live. I don't think it's a big deal or whatever. Then I'll be like, hey, look, the minimum I'm probably going to charge you for doing something is this price. I don't want to waste your time and don't waste mine. So do you want to do that or not? So I give them an uphand or an easy thing. Excuse me.
Do they usually say yes?
Yeah, they do.
I figured so.
They'll be like, hey, look, I kind of trust what you're saying, and you seem honest over the phone and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come over and I do it. And you do have to watch it, though, because that's one thing that I've really tried to hone in on is, as a plumber, they get a bad name of, why is their value so high of the hourly rates and all this stuff? And so I tried to hone in on, look, I'm going to be reasonable, but I am a plumber, and I'm not going to kill the market for all plumbers just because I'm trying to be the nice guy, because I'm not a handyman. I am a master plumber who's got insurance and everything in case a disaster would happen.
Do you think that's the biggest misconception of your industry, is that it's not worth what you need to charge?
Sure. I think so. I hear it so often, or hey, I can do a YouTuber. My husband wants to do it, or all these different things. And a lot of things are simple. I agree. They are. A lot of things you could turn a wrench and do this thing. Of course, I know all these things because I've been doing it so long, but there's a lot of simplicity to these things. But the thing is, if your house flooded because your husband did it, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. You're going to go for your stuff. But because I did it, you're going to come for me. And so that's why I've got to be, that's just part of the trade.
So here's a little story. I had a problem with my shower dripping, and I thought that I could fix it. I did YouTube it. I'm like, oh, I see. Okay. So I did go get the part. And then was having trouble taking off the handle of my shower. So I did call someone and had them come. And he was like, so what were you going to do? I said, I was just going to take this off. He's like, well, were you going to okay, don't laugh. But were you going to shut the water? Were you going to shut the water off? And I was like, what do you mean? He said in about 5 minutes, your whole upstairs would have been flooded.
God,
and
yes.
So then, it's not that I didn't have a respect, but I got a really huge respect for the fact that I can replace, not without too much difficulty, my garbage disposal. Like I did that.
Oh, awesome. Good job. Yes.
Thanks.
Good job.
But that didn't involve like running water so much as just making sure I hooked it up correctly.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, I thought, well, if I can do that, then me and my wrench can go try to fix things. But no, I realized and plus he had a blowtorch and had to do something with that. And it freaked me out.
Yeah, right.
I'm never doing that.
You would never touch that.
No, I'd be calling Justin with Redtail Plumbing.
Right.
You and your blowtorch can come fix things.
Right. Yeah, totally.
So I also wanted to ask you, are you sort of on the business side? Do you have like books that you read or podcasts that you listen to that kind of help you along that way? I know a lot of people kind of talk about different podcasts and people that inspire them like that.
Sure. I'm not, I guess kind of a little bit. So there's a book, I'm in a part of a book club now. It's called, and I guess it's called just the Canton Business Club. I'm sorry, who's ever out there and I can't remember the name, but like we just read a book called The Atomic Habit, which was so good. You know that book?
I
Sharon?
do.
Okay,
I
cool.
haven't read it. I've heard great things.
It's so good. Yes, definitely.
So what's something in Atomic Habits that's helped you?
So like it's just it's one. You basically, here's the story I remember. So there was a British bicycling group, and they were horrible for years and years. And then they got a new coach, and he decided to like, look, I'm going to let them sleep on pillows they like. I'm going to like. Give them warm shorts to wear. All these tiny little things he'd fix for months, and then they ended up winning everything. They ended up winning the gold medals, the whatever Lance Armstrong used to win. What was that thing called?
The Tour de France?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
They won. Good
I
job.
didn't think that was going to come out at all.
So they ended up being so good, but it was all by tiny little percentages of making changes throughout time, and it paid off to make a huge difference, the habitual things they did in their life.
So the notion that you're making, and you're consistently making small changes, right?
Yeah.
I need this discipline.
Oh, it's hard. You just start one. Yeah, but it's one tiny thing a day.
Did you do one tiny thing a day?
Yes, I started reading more.
Oh, well, that's a huge thing.
Yeah,
that's discipline.
So I started reading more and getting into a couple other books. And let's see, there's another book I'm in. It's called The Emotional Spiritual. I can't remember what it is, but it's a book, a Christian book. So I do dive into those things. So I really.
But you weren't really reading consistently before.
No. And I mean, I did it just whether I'm reading that book, Atomic Habit, or something else, just to start learning knowledge of things is what I was trying to do.
Well, but look at what it's done.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that was only a month ago. So it's not like I'm a veteran yet.
But you know what I like about when I get into a very disciplined mindset, which I'm just now kind of getting back to a disciplined mindset, is that I have at the end of the day a true sense of like peace about my life.
Sure.
In certain parts of my life, where there are days where I'll go to bed and be like, I didn't do the this that I thought I was going to do. It's fine.
Yeah.
But when I kind of put that discipline in my mind of no, like you made a promise to yourself, you need to keep it.
Yeah.
There's just something about that gives me a sense of peace, I guess, is the best thing I can think. So,
totally.
Having like I didn't even know I did a tiny atomic habit like the last 3 days.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I know. I've been working out again. I'm like, really, it actually makes me so happy. I forgot how happy that kind of thing can make me because it bleeds out into other parts of my life.
Sure.
So everyone wins. Everyone
totally.
around me and myself.
That's right. You're happier and that joy is going around, isn't it? Yeah, I agree.
All right. So if people wanted to contact you, what's the best way they can get in touch with you?
So the phone.
Yeah, really.
Right. So like, what are you asking?
So like, what's your web? Like, if people wanted to find you,
okay.
So is your website the best way, or?
Yes. Yeah.
No, I know, right? There's so many avenues.
I don't know. I think so. One of my biggest contributors to how people get a hold of me is Cherokee Connect. Oh. Which is like, I think it's 80,000 people. Yeah, that's right. Facebook is a good, because that's where a lot of these people that I network are, and they'll throw out my name when somebody's like, hey, I got a water leak, or who do you know? And so they'll throw my name out there. So that's one big avenue. Yeah, my plumbing webpage, redtailplumbing.com, or let's see. Yeah, just in those avenues lead to my phone number. But I do have my, what is my logo? Is that what's called, a tagline or logo?
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah,
do you know
I
what
have
it
a
is?
tagline. No.
What is it? Oh, come on. So what it is plumbing fail, call the red tail. So like that was my hashtag or whatever. And that's what that billboard said. It said plumbing fail, call the red tail. And then it had a logo and my phone number and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's a great tagline.
It works, right?
It rhymes.
Yeah.
Are you on social media too? Like, do you have Instagram or any of that stuff?
I do have I have Facebook page, but I am not good at that.
No, like I just had someone on the show who that's like what they do. Is
it is?
Yeah. And so how important that is for business. And I resist it at all costs. I don't know why, but I do know that it's huge. Although another gentleman I had on the show, I had just put a very small ad on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he's just very successful with that. Hasn't needed to. Yeah. Hasn't really needed to invest a whole lot in different kinds of ways. But what would you do? You'd be in someone's house like with, a little video of yourself.
Yeah, what would I do?
I don't know. It's
so
like,
awkward.
how necessary is that? I don't know. So do you drive around town and you're just like, worked on that house, worked on that place?
Oh my gosh. That's what my wife says. She's
really?
like, we drive by this one place over here on Dupree Road all the time. She's like, did you work on that place? Like, yeah, I did.
Let me explain what I did down to the different nuts and bolts.
It is weird. I think that's a service guy, though, because, being that, what have I done plumbing here, just specifically in Atlanta for so many years that, like, that's one thing. You learn the city so well. So I know this city really well, like roads and everything. So that's one thing about a service guy is you learn the direction very well just because you're so many places all the time. So, yeah.
But that's kind of cool. Like I was saying, each town doesn't feel like a stranger town.
No, that's right.
You feel like you know these.
That's
these
right.
places.
Totally.
And you feel like you can call on someone with all of your different business clubs, right? Like if you needed someone to paint, you could find a painter in a second. But that's what I kind of like about the networking is that if I were to call you to come to my house, I know that you care about whether you fixed my house well.
Oh, I totally
because
do.
we're going to see each other
right.
again too.
That's right. Just not talk to you anymore.
Sorry about that.
Right?
Sorry about that mishap.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, totally.
No, but I mean, that's kind of what the relationships are all about is like not just this moment, but like future moments. And then I can tell people about you, which I have, which is kind of cool too. I think I have put you on Facebook.
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad it worked out.
Totally.
Well, Justin, if there's any like sort of, I don't know, ending words of wisdom you think you could give to some business owners out there, what would you say? I know it's kind of a broad question.
Shoot.
I know a lot of people talk about like don't give up, things like that, but and that is important, I think, but it's very easy for me to get overwhelmed with starting anything.
Sure.
So, and I think if someone were out there wanting to get involved in the same industry you're in, what would you tell them?
I would just like as I run this, I mean, I guess this would lose itself as I got bigger company and stuff like that, but like I guess it's me who kind of runs the company and it's just known as Redtail. So like I would put yourself out there as to run it, lead by yourself alone until you need to grab hold of people. You know what I mean? And just go for it. I mean, that's all you can do. You go for it and you see what happens and then you take the punches. And like, I always think to myself, I was thinking that they asked a business club question, and I don't know how it went over, and I don't know how it'll go over here today.
Okay, let's.
But I'm good for awkward stuff. So that's how I roll.
I live awkward.
So like somebody was like, "What are you going to do if something in business fails or it doesn't?" And I'm like, "Well, if it truly fails, the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to me is I die." Right. So here's my parting words, and good. This kind of throws into myself in with God too, right? But like. Because I'm a follower of God, and if I die, that means that I know my destination, and I am okay with it. I know that my destination is heaven, and I am okay with the worst thing that could ever happen. So, parting words is the worst thing probably not going to happen to you. So go for it, guys. I would tell you, just go for it, and I think you're going to win. So
I love it. I always come down to, oh no, I'm going to die. Like that is the number one, right?
It is, right? Yeah, that's
it's
what
like
people can't beat death, right? But the one who did, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I know you might not go with that bad.
No,
that's right. That's what I go with, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but the one who can't beat, but you really don't.
Yeah, that's right.
But you really don't.
That's right. No, that's right. And that's right. Because he beat death. Yeah.
Right. I didn't put that together till just now.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really great way to look at it. And I appreciate you sharing.
Sure.
That's something I'll be thinking about later as well.
Sure.
My tendency is to not want to do things because I'm like, no, I could fail. But it's like there is an element of faith to all of it.
Sure. No, that's right. Yeah, whichever way you go, that's right. You're exactly right. Yeah.
Hooray. On that, quickly end the show.
Faith. Yeah, you got it. You win.
That's all I care about.
So,
Justin, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so grateful that you spent the afternoon over here and kind of gave us, some fun things to think about.
Sure. I've had a total pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Sharon. I love this. This is a blast to me.
You have to come back. We'll talk more about deep things.
Oh, definitely.
And thank you all for listening to Fearless Formula on Business Radio X. And this is Sharon Klein again, reminding you with knowledge and understanding, you can have your own fearless formula. Have a great day.